Shares of Donald Trump's Trump Media and Technology Group went for a bit of a roller coaster ride on Tuesday after it was reported that the company only made $770,000 in the first quarter of this year, but had operating losses of $327 million. $327 million loss in the first quarter of this year. So 3 months, $327 million, poof, gone. But, I mean, they made $770,000, so, it's eventually going to catch up and right itself, right? Now, the funny thing about this story is that Thursday of last week, shares in Donald Trump's Trump Media and Technology Group reached $58 per share, which at that point was kind of the highest they had been in weeks and weeks and weeks after just loss after loss after loss. So it looked like the stock was coming back. But Tuesday morning, this horrific financial information comes out, and guess what happened to the stock? Straight down the toilet, back down to about $44 per share at the end of closing. So all of those big gains that they made, even though the investors admitted that they thought the company was worthless, they were still buying the stock anyway. Yeah, they're having second thoughts now because they realize that this company cannot sustain itself. But in all fairness, right? The $327 million loss was not just, that's how much it cost to operate the thing. A lot of it was actually related to the closing costs of the merger. So let me read you this. This is from CNBC. This is from Variety. They said, in quarter one, the company recorded $300 million in non-cash expenses arising from the conversion of promissory notes and the associated elimination of prior liabilities immediately before closing the TMTG's merger with DWAC, Digital World Acquisition Company. Trump Media and Technology Group had a first quarter operating loss of $12.1 million based on adjusted EBITDA calculations. Approximately half of that amount, $6.3 million, consisted of one-time payments related to the closing of TMTG's merger with DWAC. The company reported an operating loss of $98.35 million for quarter one on a generally accepted accounting principles basis. So a real operating loss of $98 million and $12 million in general expense losses. But even if they didn't have all those closing costs, let's assume best case scenario, this thing can limp along every quarter losing only $12 million. That still puts them close to $50 million lost per year, which is what they lost last year. Unfortunately for them, last year they made a little more than $4 million, and at the current rate of $770,000 per quarter, they'll barely break $2.9 million in profit this year on losses of $50 million. But don't sweat it, right? Because the company totally says that they might have enough money to keep going. A statement from TMTG said, first of all, that they've got, we got cash balances of $273 million. Doubt it. But anyway, the company, quote, believes it has sufficient working capital to fund operations for the foreseeable future. It believes it has sufficient capital. They're not saying we definitely have sufficient capital. They're not saying we totally have sufficient capital. We think, we believe we've got enough to limp along a little bit more, right? Not with expenses like this. Not with revenues like what you've got. I mean, I know YouTube channels, like progressive media YouTube channels that make more than that a quarter. So yeah, you're in trouble, guys. And if you've invested in this stock, you better buckle up for that roller coaster because you've got a long, long downward slide ahead of you. Hey everybody, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we are closing in on a pretty major milestone here at Fair and Balanced as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet, and we definitely need your support. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, like and comment on the videos and share them as widely as possible.